Hello, my name is Julian. You're watching TRACC and we're racing GT4s at Silverstone. Exiting the pits for free practice, almost already spinning out. Oh, this is going to be an interesting weekend, eh? Anyways, the weather is beautiful, we're at Silverstone, you know the circuit. Well, mostly you do. If you don't, here is a bit of a sped up lap of it. But this is just, I'm racing the KTM. I'm just racing it because it was not taken yet. Basically, the limitations for this race are every car, there are only 3 vehicles to choose. And there's something happening. We got another KTM right in front of us. Let's see what will happen. Oh, he just lets us pass. Thank you, Saharonski, for letting us pass. So there are 3 cars. There are 3 Ginettas, 3 Mercedes, 3 of the Porsches, and so on. 3 Alpines and 3 KTMs. And I'm one of the KTMs. And the crossbow got kind of the... Well, it's known for not being the best. But I thought, well, I'll race it anyways. A qualifying starts and everyone is just going out. It's a 5-minute qualifying session and I have time. I'm just waiting for everyone to go past, well, most of the people anyways. Any moment now, I'm going to exit. Behind Tweedy. That's a good place to be. Behind Shingle and Tweedy. So let's see. Not spinning out, not almost spinning out this time, exiting the pits. That's a very good start to the qualifying session. Now, the last time I've raced the KTM was about a year ago on Silverstone too, and I had a puncture on the right tire while just merely crossing a curbing. That was very weird, but let's see what we can do now in this qualifying session. The first qualifying session. The only thing I have done is I had about 10 minutes of a practice session where I played a bit with the setup, and one simple change made the KTM very drivable. It's literally just softening the rear anti-roll bar from 1 to 0. Just by 1 click down to the minimum. And that made the KTM much more drivable, because there's one quirk it kinda has. It wants to oversteer mid-corner. That is not always good, but you can use it to your advantage at sometimes. And if you learn to use that, then all of the weaknesses of the KTM, which is literally everything in a straight line, are not gonna be as bad. Because there are some heavy corners that you need to turn in, and getting the car to help you turn in easier. It sounds like a good deal to me. So we're already halfway through the qualifying lap here. We need to brake a bit for this right-hander. In GT3s you don't need to brake, but in GT4s, in my experience, there is no going about braking. So Shingle goes off, yellow flag, and goes out of the way. Good guy Shingle. And we are coming onto this straight, which is not the hangar straight, but the other straight. Literally no idea how it's called. Anyways, braking shortly before the brake marker on the right. Take much inside curbing in 2nd gear. Take all of this last section left field in 2nd gear. And the qualifying time is over. We just can't finish our lap, but there's not a second lap that we can do. Other drivers that left earlier could do. We did it 2:12.1, which I think is pretty good considering that I didn't really practice. And I didn't have any much prior experience. So starting in 10th, no, in 11th. We're starting in 11th for the race. Let's check the fuel. We're going down to 33 liters for the 20-minute race. There's a second race coming afterwards, which is a 40-minute race.
Stay single file.
We're staying in single file, yes, for the warm-up lap, where it's very important just to warm up your tires. You see me swerving left to right in an effort in vain, trying to get some heat into the tires. It's very... I don't know if it's really possible to do. Apparently swerving should be should make the wheels a bit hotter, but I don't know if that works, so I'll just do it anyways, because there's nothing else to do. Anyways, we're starting in double file, starting from P11. That is a very good position, because we're starting on the inside into T1. That's better than starting on the outside, in my experience. But anyways, speeding up to 70 kilometers for the start. Let's see how we get a good launch. Can we move past anyone? No. But we stay our course. We stay on our position. Workman getting the move done on Fubini into T1. Well done, Workman. But we are behind the big Beamer right now. The KTM being, well, pretty much the smallest car on the grid. The Beamer being quite the opposite. Very big chungus boy. So. And here you see the weakness of the KTM. Because you see how the Beamer is getting smaller and smaller? Yeah, it's getting away. But here you see the strength of the KTM. You see the Beamer getting bigger and bigger. That's part Constantina effect, and part the KTM just being better in the corners. Especially in the slow corners, as we can see, we are already closing up to TRACC here in the chicane. Beautiful. And that's not just because he's getting held up by Fubini and Workman fighting in front. Totally not. Totally. But we got Tweedy behind us as well. And there was Workman getting pushed wide by Fubini. And I need to brake, otherwise I would have probably killed TRACC. And Tweedy's on the inside. But I'm on the inside for the next corner. And that is good going, Genghis.
Clear on the right.
Yes. Defended successfully. Alright, onto the straight now, and TRACC is very far away, which is not good. And now Tramp behind us, Trampe, he is Italian. Overtook Tweedy, and is now the next guy behind. The McLaren is a beast in the straight line as compared to the Chevy, but we'll see that in about half a lap. Less even so. We're going through the S's right now, getting our first track warning of the day, and now Trampe is coming. Well, he's not coming, he's whizzing past on the straight. No slipstream needed. It's just a KTM for you. Getting overtook by anyone. Except for maybe a Chevy and maybe a Porsche. And another KTM, of course. But now we have an English butt in front of us. Not anymore the German big one. And there are two people going wide already. Wow, they just didn't brake. I think they took the GT4 lines. But unfortunately, we cannot really capitalize on that mistake. Both being able to slot in right normally. Following Trumpé, trying to follow him at least. Through the corners it's much easier, but on the straights, as always, he's just pushing away. So, we're a few minutes later now, and there's an error by TRACC. He goes wide through the corner, and now Trumpé and TRACC are side by side. Ooh, maybe we can capitalize on this. Well, we'll see. Trumpé goes a bit wide. That means he's got a bad run onto the straight. And what are we doing? We're faking up the inside. I love that. And Trumpé, what does he do? Take out TRACC. Not really, because TRACC saves it. Good going, TRACC. But Trumpé is now behind us again. Bad going, Trumpé. And TRACC is now in front of us again. We're again in P11, where we started. I'll fast forward a bit. Getting the second track warning here. And we see TRACC has a bit of trouble through the S's. So, we are able to close up really good through that first half. Fake a bit of a overtake. And TRACC is immediately sends himself off into the gravel. So, we managed to make that position up. And TRACC slots in 2 spots behind, even behind Trumpé now. So now we're in P10, and we've got to defend from Trumpé. Spoiler alert, we don't really need to defend from him, because I'm just quicker. I just managed to get away from him, from Trumpé, but Fubini, right? We see him, another McLaren. And I really want to catch up to him. So we do that. Just do that. Managed to get some distance between Trumpé and me, and Fubini in front is just getting closer and closer by the lap. And TRACC apparently did something bad to our KTM brethren. That is bad going, TRACC. Oh, we're getting closer and ever closer to Fubini. And through the corners, we're really catching up with him. We're already on his behind and in the slipstream range right now. Half a second behind Fubini, and this is where it gets hairy, because the KTM is so much better into the corners. I need to go a bit side by side with Fubini on the outer line. Potentially sacrificing a bit of an exit, but that is just what you have to deal with from time to time when you have different vehicles that have different strengths and weaknesses. So Fubini is in front, we're just following him, trying to edge closer on the parts where the KTM is not so strong as the McLaren, in order to overtake in the parts where the KTM is stronger. Now there's only one problem. In those 5 minutes that were left on the clock, I didn't manage to do that. I stayed behind Fubini, and this is the last lap now. Leader has already finished the race. Can I do anything? Any send up the inside? No, that's not possible, because everything here is full throttle. So, race is over. Good job. Thank you. P10. It's okay. So there's a second qualifying then for the second race. It's a 10-minute qualifying this time, so we've got a bit more time to do the deed. And do the deed I do. Because, interesting, we're here behind Jongen and Nör, and both are pretty quick drivers. Jongen a bit quicker than Nör, normally. But I am able now, with 20 minutes more of experience in race trim, with the KTM, but basically it's the race setup and the qualifying setup is the same, it's just one has a bit less fuel. So let's see what has changed in these 20 minutes. Spoiler alert, quite a lot. Able to take the S's really nicely. It feels slowly, but that's just because it's a KTM. I'm sorry. GT4s generally feel a bit sluggish, in my opinion. But they're fun to race nonetheless. So in third through Stowe. And we're coming up to the chicane now. Braking very late, very lovely. Into second gear before of the exit is generally quicker in my experience. So, nowhere right in front of me. And getting quite nervous at this point because I know how quick I am through the next section. But I don't know how quick or slow Noir is. So he almost bins it here, but sacrifices his lap. And there is another person sacrificing his lap. Alright, fair enough. So, we go through that without a problem. And behind Jongen now. And Saharansky is right in front of there, our KTM brethren. Yellow flag, a bit of a stress situation, but nothing the matter. They teleport back to whence they came, which is the pits, which are on the right here. We cross the line in a few seconds with a 2:10.8. Holy mackerel. That is the best lap that I have ever done in the KTM across Silverstone. And starting P6, that is looking lovely. Now I know, and you can probably see by the times, that the top 5 are in a bit of a different league. So I'm not planning to challenge them necessarily. I'm planning to drive my own race, fueling up with 54 liters of fuel, testing all of the lights, which is very important. I'm planning to, at the beginning, go a bit with these 5 very quick people. One of them being another one of the KTM brethren, Shane Thomas, right in front of me, starting in 5th position. This is a very lovely outlook for the KTM club. Swerving a bit to get heat in the tires because GT4s don't have tire warmers. Now we see Jongen almost binning it in the warm-up lap, trying to warm up maybe a bit too heavily. We keep on the left side and we get a bit of shenanigans. If I had VR I would have puked right there, but luckily I don't have VR. I have some stationary TV screen monitor, however you want to call it. So everyone's looking like a lovely start, and Thomas on the right to me is a very good starter, I know that, so I have no option in challenging them.
Clear on the right.
But I managed to keep my positions on the outside against Vargas, who is right behind us in the Chevy, the Camaro, the big Chungus from America. I almost wanted to say down under right now, but unfortunately there are no GT4 vehicles from down under, because Holden doesn't do that. They make V8 supercars. Anyways, we're able to hold up quite nicely through the first half of the track, and we're getting into the part where I'm really strong, and we get spun.
Car on the left.
Perfect.
On the left.
Perfect start to the race. Immediately rejoin the racetrack. It's completely safe, I reassure you. And we're now behind Fabini again. Hello, Fabini. Now, there's someone spinning out, and we are in 14th position. Nice! From 6th to 14th, and this means we've got a bit of catch-up to do. I know I'm quicker than all of these guys in front here. Well, the top 5 guys are gone. And let's see what is happening behind us. A bit of a coming together. Interesting. So there's a bit of a yellow flag behind us. Nothing that really matters to us right now. But we're behind Fabini. Again. And there's a beamer in front of Fabini. Again. This is a bit of a deja vu. But it's not TRACC this time. So... And Fabini is gone. A bit of a deja vu. It's even the same corner as last time. I guess Fabini just doesn't like the end of Silverstone. So, we're behind Bergs now in his Beamer. And from my experience, Beamers are not very good in the first half of Silverstone as compared to the KTM. So I'm very close to him exiting Stowe, and I'm flashing to signalize I'm going to attack. I'm attacking and overtaking. Overtake of the season right there. Don't need to look any further. This was it. So, right behind our KTM brethren right now. Tom Tweedy goes a bit wide. He seems a bit stressed today. So he just takes a straight line and rejoins Saharansky. In the meanwhile, our KTM brethren is just a bit taken aback. So we're taking it up front and overtaking on the straight. Lovely. Nice little overtake. We're braking a bit late earlier, but that's fine because Stowe, the inside is very OP. Overpowered. Overtake of the season, right there. You don't need to look any further. So right behind Noir now, and we know that Noir is not so quick through the arena section. So that's got me a little worried, but we managed to keep behind him and defend from Saharansky at the same time. Now I'm flashing Noir at the hangar straight because I want to overtake him. We both go a bit sideways. Happens. I flash him again because I know I'm very good into this next corner, the chicane. But he is good as well in the Porsche. Apparently it's a pretty light and nimble car. Right in front is the Camaro, which is not a very light and nimble car. I think. I hope. Otherwise it wouldn't quite fit the muscle car phenomenon. But we managed to keep up with Noir and into this next corner. Go for a bit of a dive, but we get squeezed a bit, so let off the throttle. Let him have this one for now. I know I'm quicker. I know I need to overtake in order to get the best chance of reclaiming what I have earned through qualifying. I fake a bit into this corner. Noir goes wide. I go wide as well. But I managed to get a better run into Laffield. And even though we're a bit side by side right now, I get on the outside a better run, a better exit onto the start-finish straight. Lovely. Overtake of the season right there. Don't need to look any further. So now it's a game of catch-up, I thought, because I had a problem in T1. And that means Noir got passed again. At this moment I'm thinking, oh god, please don't. You know I'm quicker. And I flash to indicate that I'm quicker, because I'm quicker on the straight, which is weird in a KTM. But I'm braking into Stowe, I'm on the inside, and this time he doesn't squeeze me. He tries at first, but the inside line on Stowe, as I said earlier, is OP. So, overtake of the season. You don't need to look any further. Now, almost a lap later, right on the backside of Tom Tweedy, managed to catch up a bit. We're on P10 right now, so we already got 4 positions from, well, technically 5 from where we started. But John Tweedy, right in front, I'm flashing to indicate that I'm going to overtake. I try, but he's very late on the brakes and manages to get a bit of an apex. Well done, Tweedy. Try to overtake into this left-hander, doesn't really do it. Unfortunately, not very possible at this moment in time. But I know I have strength and I can play them out, especially if there's a bit of a sideways action that troubles the exit speed of the Chevy. So I managed to actually be quicker on the straight,
Car on the left. Clear on the
force my way onto the inside a bit, and because I'm spinning, I exit this move. Well, it was quite a risky move. Now a lap later, I've been following Tweedy again through the S's now, and it seems like Tweedy has had enough of me pressuring him, because he takes a straight line through Maggots and Packets and gains a position while doing so. Okay. I'm not judging. Now we're behind Trampe again, and there are 4 cars right in front. Oh, this is 9th position, 8th position, 7th and 6th position. Now, 4 cars right in front. And if I overtake the car at the front of this train, I get 6th position back. That is exactly what I wanted from the whole race. 6th position. So, a bit later, managed to catch up, and Tom Tweedy goes a bit onto the grass, getting a drive-through. Ooh, now this is exactly what I want. 1 car less that I have to battle. Good for positions, bad for, well, I guess the fun of it. Now, half a lap later, Trampe seems to want to go into the pits, but doesn't do it. Tweedy, on the other hand, does it. So now, there were only 3. I immediately start flashing Trampe, pressuring him, because I know there's proneness to errors in these McLarens around here. Especially into the later stages of the circuit. Now let's see. Trampe and me are able to catch up to Schungel and Workman in front, who are fighting as it is. And the lines of Trampe are a bit wide through the S's. Through Maggots and Packets, that is, the S's. Getting the first warning for track limits, almost half an hour into the race. A pretty good sign for things to come. Pressuring Trampe all of the while, but not really getting that move done. Game time in Sector 2, yes. I'm overall quicker than Trampe, but I'm just not able to get the move done. But now I'm on his behind. But we both make a mistake into the S's. Now I fake my way into the chicane. Trampe goes deep and I go for the cutback. The old switcheroo. Now, I managed to make it done here. On the new start-finish straight. Overtake of the season. You don't need to look any further. Now, there were only 2. Schungel and Workman. Now, just need to catch up to them, and I'm already getting some distance between Trampe and me, and I managed to catch up through the S's. Now they're side by side. Oh, this seems like an action. Let's watch this up close. They go into the corner, and Rip Workman, And, well, I guess also rip Schungel, because this is the first incident for him. And also rip his wheel, because his drive shaft for his wheel actually broke. It's a 3D printed shaft, and it snapped right at this moment. Well, that was the race basically. The rest of it was just driving, doing my times, and we're on the last lap right now, 6th position. This is all I wanted from the race, and I'm very happy with myself being able to catch up like this. Now, this was a great day for racing, and I thank you for watching. If you like this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Also leave a comment if you have any feedback. I'm always looking for any good feedback. So, goodbye and see you on the racetrack.